This podcast contains paid advertisements, but more on that later. Welcome to the O'Connor Bootstrap podcast, where I discuss how you can grow your business by the bootstraps. This applies to all entrepreneurs, from the person just starting up to the one that is already well established. My goal is to help you grow. I am your host, Isaiah O'Connor. Okay, today's episode is brought to you by allwin.com. What is allwin.com? Allwin.com is a place where you can go find affiliate sponsors to support your work if you're a content creator of some sort, be it a blogger, a YouTuber, a podcaster, whatever. You can find a person to pay you to advertise their product. The way it works is they say, hey, people sign up for our service, and we will pay you so much money every time someone signs up for our service or buys our service or purchases. It could be a percentage, it could be a flat rate. It differs, but it's pretty straightforward. So you sign up to allwin.com. You can find people that are willing to pay you to give them shout outs. Like when I talk about amazon.com, someone signs up to amazon.com using the link, I get paid for that, which is really cool. But then again, say you're not a content creator, then what use is it for you? Well, they're a matchmaking service. They bring together an advertiser with a seller of products. So if you're a business and you want your business advertised and you want to market your business, you can go to allwin.com and you can set it up so that you can find somebody to pay to bring you business. You can find people to promote your business for a percentage or a slice of the pie. It's really cool. Businesses can find people to advertise for them. Advertisers can find businesses to pay them. It works great. It's an affiliate link program. They have a whole bunch of different ways you can do it. They have lots of support, very easy to use. They're really great. Go check them out. It's www.allwin.com. If you use the link in the description below, we will be supported. You will help us out. Go check them out. They're pretty cool. Anyway, so today I'm going to talk about how your attitude affects your business and your perception of how things are in your business. Now, on this episode, this is just based on my own personal observations about not just business, but the way people work, the way people view different products, different political figures. It doesn't matter. This is pretty universal, but we're going to focus on the business aspect, of course. Now, one thing I've noticed is a lot of the time, people, if they have a bad attitude about some aspect of their business, that aspect of the business will be the worst aspect of the business. They'll always have problems with that part. Everything will always go wrong, and it's going to be the worst. And that doesn't necessarily mean things are really going that bad. But their perception is because that thing is bad, then of course it's going to be bad, and everything about it's going to be bad. Fairly human nature, quite honestly. And as an example, I've seen people in the balloon world. There's different brands of balloons. There's about 3 major brands of balloons, maybe 4, but pretty much 3 major brands that the professionals use. And each brand has their pros and cons, their strengths and weaknesses. And I frequently see people who are professionals who will have a brand that they don't like. For whatever reason, they don't like that brand. And because they don't like that brand is always failing for them. It's kind of interesting. They're always talking about how they have so many failures on the balloons are always bad, they've always got holes already in the balloons are stuck together, they get short on packages, they order 100, they get 99. Every other day they're complaining, this is the worst possible brand, I'm leaving this brand sucks, it's horrible, they're not very good, it's poor quality, it's horrible. I can't believe they're still in business, yada, yada, yada. And they're constantly showing pictures of defective products. Funny thing is, on the flip side, I see lots and lots and lots of other people use that brand, and they never, ever have problems. And if they do, they're so insignificant because balloons are like potato chips. They make them thousands at a time that it doesn't even faze them. You have lots of people who use the same exact balloons as their core balloon to run their entire company on, and they never complain about it. Do they have defects? I'm sure they get defects. They get one or two defects. It happens. It's balloons. You got to expect it. The type of product it is, the way it's made, manufactured, all that stuff comes into play. Yeah, you're going to get a bad balloon once in a while. It happens. You might even get a whole bad batch, which is bad. And the company will just simply replace your bad batch for you immediately. They're pretty good about it. However, point being is, I don't usually see these companies really being any different, but the people, it's the same company, different people, different attitude. One person, every bag is bad, and every bag is short or deformed or defective or holes in balloons, and they're so fed up with it, and they have to go online and complain publicly about this company, and they never contact the company directly. They always just go out and they vent and they complain and whine. But then I noticed something. The people who don't have that many problems with the product, well, not only do they love the product in general, so that always helps, but they don't complain about anything else. Not often. Some of them, I can't think the last time I heard them complain about something. Really, I don't remember a time. And these other guys, when they're not complaining about this particular brand of balloons they don't like, they're complaining about their customers. They're complaining about their sales. They're complaining about their competition. They're always complaining about everything. They have an attitude, just such a negative, bitter attitude towards everything, and it affects their whole business. It affects the perception of the product they're buying. It affects their perception of their customers, their competition, and honestly, I think it slowly starts to destroy their business. Because when you're grumpy and have an attitude like that, your customers pick up on it. And the more grumpy an attitude you have, the more customers you're going to lose, the more clients you're going to lose, and eventually you're going to be quitting and going and doing something else. You're not going to last. And even outside the balloon industry, way back when I was working at the Radio Shack, one of my first managers kind of had a similar attitude. He was upset with the company. He didn't like the company. Now, looking back, I can understand some of his problems, but because of his attitude towards the company, everything was wrong. Minor things that were common to retail wouldn't seem to bother him. And he quit, and he went off eventually. He quit, and he went off and got a job at a 7-Eleven or something. I don't know. And yeah, I can understand some of his frustration. However, the guy who replaced him came in with an amazing attitude. Hey, we're in the greatest industry. We're in a great company. This is amazing. We're going to kick butt. And the whole store's sales started going up and up and up. We started becoming one of the top stores in the district. What was the difference? The other guy, same area, same customers. Nothing changed except for the manager and the attitude. Guy had kind of a bad attitude, kind of didn't really try to work with employees, try to actually manage people. which is kind of, well, he's a good salesperson, so I can't tell him, I can't deal with when he does something wrong. I can't tell him because he's a good salesperson. But if you're not a good salesperson, I'm going to tell you how bad you are because you're not a good salesperson. He was just kind of bad at the job because he had an attitude. This job sucks. We're in a bad neighborhood. This is a bad area. We're not getting a lot of customers. It's not my fault we're not getting a lot of customers. It's just a slow store. It's a bad area. Da 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 da. And he complained, and eventually quit. And the store wasn't doing great. New guy came in, different attitude, 180 degrees, and we started becoming one of the top stores in the district because we started making a lot of sales. We had more and more repeat clients, more new clients as people heard more about us, taking care of their customers, etc. Attitude can really change and affect the way you do your business. It affects your outlook. You think things are bad, then things will be bad. What was it? I do believe this was Henry Ford that says, if you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're correct. And it's so true. But it affects your perception on the quality of the goods you're getting. It affects your perception on your customers. It affects everything. And I'll be honest, there's been more times than I wish to admit where, because of my own bad attitude towards the company, towards the boss or whatever, I didn't put the effort in, and everything seemed to be really, really bad and pile up and get worse. And yeah, it's not good to be in that place. I mean, I'm human. It's easy to slip into that. Well, I'm just in a sucky company and I can't do anything about it, or I'm in a bad industry, or I started this company up and now things are rough, and now it's all the customer's fault that I'm not succeeding, and you just get in this funk, and it's easy to slip into a funk and not get out of it. But if you're in a funk and your business is not doing good, and you're looking around and you're looking at your suppliers are bad, your customers are bad, your employees are bad, if everything's bad, then you need to stop and go, wait, if everything's bad, maybe it's because of my attitude. Maybe things are better than it looks. Maybe things are bad because I'm upset and I'm not putting in the effort to fix it. Maybe it's bad because my employees can pick up my attitude. And it's a big thing. If it's the way you look at life, it's the way your attitude is, it's how you see things. I also had one manager, and I'm not going to say the company, who, it was interesting. The way he treated me, he had a negative view of me because of certain reasons. When I came into that place where I was working, he had kind of a negative attitude towards me because of rumors and falsehoods and things that happened that weren't true, but leave it to be that he had a bad attitude towards me, which is fine, his prerogative, whatever. He kept a smiling face up front, but he would gossip to me about me to the other employees, which backfired because they liked me and they told me about it. But I had a great day. It was a sales job. Great day in sales, working by myself, just busting my butt, sold a whole ton of stuff, and got one of the biggest sales days for the entire store that the store had in a very long time. Huge sales day by myself, working, busting my butt on a weekend. It was like a Saturday or Sunday, working by myself. His attitude wasn't, wow, look at these numbers, they're going to help me reach my bonus. His attitude was, and he went and told other employees behind my back, I can't believe it. He had that whole day by himself and he didn't do any of the cleaning on the cleaning list I gave him. I can't believe it. That's what I mean. His outlook. I single-handedly broke the previous week's record high sales. I think I sold it for about $1,000 or something dollars plus by myself with no help. I had customers in the store nonstop. I was slammed busy running my tail off trying to make sure that all the customers were taken care of, sell them stuff, and then make sure and upsell and close and do everything else to get as much sales as I could out of the day, which was my job. But I didn't get to replacing the light bulbs in the ceiling or any of these other little busy work jobs that he gave as a list. And that's all he focused on. Again, attitude and focus. So it's just the way you look, just the way your outlook is. And because of his outlook, I left. I actually left that job because of his outlook towards me. That was part of the problem. But his outlook was sour. He was already sour. He was complaining about everything. He was complaining about this, that, this thing, and that thing. And this was bad, and that was bad. And when things were good, he took credit. It was, again, pretty big about his attitude. Didn't let him look and see great sales. My wife as well. When she sold a lot of stuff, her bosses didn't like it because they had to pay her too much money because she was on commission. Attitude. Instead of going, oh, great, look, she's making us a lot of money. She's selling a lot of product. They went, oh, great, she's selling a lot of product. She's making a lot of money. Taking money out of our pockets, we got to get rid of her. Attitude. It can really ruin you. By the way, if you don't already know, if you have a top salesman who is selling a crap ton of stuff and making a lot of commission, give them a raise. Don't take away their job or their money because they're selling your product, making you a lot of money. They're worth every penny. Just saying. Side note. Anyway, I could ramble on a long time, but long story short is this. When you have a good attitude, you try to look at things and look at the bright side of things and deal with it. Face the brutal facts, back to that book I'm talking about. I'm probably going to do a deep dive in that book. But when you have an attitude of, hey, this is a great business, my employees are great, things are going good. Pragmatic one, though. So if you can say, hey, I have the best employees on the planet, I'm in a great business, but COVID-19 is just slaughtering my sales right now, and it's tough. Yeah, again, you have to face the brutal facts. You can't just go on the opposite extreme and everything's sunshine and roses and daisies and we're all happy and your store just got wiped out by a flood. Now, you have to pay attention. You have to be grounded. But if you're looking at things like, hey, things are good, business is good, things are fine, you're not going to be looking at a bag of 100 balloons, counting through 100 balloons and go, oh, I got 99. And when I've counted through balloons, a lot of times I get bags of 105, 104, 103, 102. Most of my balloons come in bags with over the count. But if you're going to count through a bag of 100 and complain because you got one less in the shipment, it happens. And if that ruins your day, then you got to check your attitude. Anyway, by the way, the best cure for bad attitude is being grateful and being a giver. When you're very, very grateful for what you have and when you honestly are out to give and help people, your attitude's going to be better. So go out there, do your business, provide value for people, give to people, be grateful for what you have, be grateful that you're alive and you own your own business, be grateful for that you're able to change careers, that there's a possibility of you getting out of the place you're in if you don't like it. Be grateful. And with that grateful attitude, it's amazing how many more opportunities open up, and it's amazing how you can overlook little problems that don't mean anything that can devastate you otherwise. Anyway, you have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Remember to get your free half-hour consultation by using our contact page and the links below. If you found value in this content, please give us a 5-star rating on whichever podcast platform you use. It is very helpful if you share this with your friends. If you'd like to directly support this podcast, I have a few donation links in the description, or you can check out the show sponsors. You have been listening to the O'Connor Bootstrap podcast, which is an Atheoz Business Solutions podcast. For our companion podcast, the Atheoz Business Podcast, which is hosted by Jason St. Clair. Our past episodes and related blogs, you can check out our website at www.atheoz.com, which is www.atheoz.com or atheoz.com. Remember, you can also check us out on the O'Connor Bootstrap Podcast Facebook group, where you can interact with me and other people who are bootstrappers and entrepreneurs. The link is in the description. Come check us out. I would love to interact with you. And until next time, I'm your friendly neighborhood entrepreneur, Isaiah O'Connor. See you later.